So a little more than 30 years ago, on June 5th, 1993, our fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers assembled right in the spot to dedicate this monument. And I dug through the archives and found the original program from that dedication. And you know, the commemoration address was given by Colonel Good, who was a 17th veteran who went on to a career with the Army. But rather than elaborate on all the things that were said, I'll just read what it was in the program. 1,480 brave young men of the 17th Airborne Division have given their lives in World War II. Our pledge to them is they shall never be forgotten as long as the survivors of the battle are here to tell their story. Each of them deserve this country's highest award for valor and bravery. If we had the world to give, it would be given, and more, just to see their faces among us once more. May God grant them eternal peace in his kingdom of heaven forevermore. And I guess, you know, I think they would all be proud to know that it didn't end as they have passed away, but they've handed us the torch a little over 10 years ago to continue their mission. And we appreciate everybody who's helped us along the way to build this our organization and help it to grow and help us to honor all the men who served in the 17th. The monument was in pretty bad shape, and we worked with Arlington. Jerry and I worked with Arlington, finally got approval to have someone come fix it. That took about a year or maybe two of just to follow the bureaucracy. But we got our memorial fund paid for the refurbishment of the monument. It has a new granite base. They took the bronze plaque and completely refinished it like new. And Jerry was here for the installation. Yep. So it was one of our projects, and here we are. Do we want to unveil it now?
We'd like to introduce ourselves. Most of you know us. I'm Marcy Stinchcomb Sherholtz, and this is my sister, Patty Stinchcomb. We're going to tell you a little bit about our dad and his life leading up to World War II and why we joined the 17th Airborne Scions. My dad, Charles Mickey Stinchcomb, was born in Baltimore, Maryland on February 24th, 1924. His mom, Martha May, died during his birth from peritonitis. His dad, Samuel, already had 4 other children to take care of, so my dad's aunt, Edna Crow Gabler, stepped up to raise my dad with her 4 other children. My great aunt, or as we knew her, grandmom, raised my dad in a loving atmosphere and treated him as an equal to her other children. It was not an easy life, as most people knew that were raised during the Depression, but they persevered and made do. When the war started, my dad, who went by Mickey Gabler, had to change his name to Mickey Stinchcomb. He was drafted, and when offered the extra $10 per week to join the 17th, he jumped at it. Fast forward, my dad came home physically well and mentally challenged with PTSD, which was an unknown at that time. He met my mom, and they were married in 1950. My mom said my dad kept a bayonet under the bed and woke up with constant nightmares. But after us kids were born, our life was nothing but wonderful. We as children had a fabulous childhood, and my dad never spoke of the war. I'm not sure what year or the circumstances of when my dad started getting together with his airborne buddies, but it was definitely a highlight to every year for him. In the interim, my brother Chuck died of cancer in 1980.
And my father's airborne buddies rallied around him as it was the hardest loss for my parents. My sister and I went to the last big reunion for the 17th in Hampton, Virginia. In 2007, and began to see and understand the need for support at that time and support and remembrance later. We started going with my dad after my mom Lois passed and continued on without hesitation after my dad's death. I'm not going to drag this on, but being a member of the Scions for my sister and I has been such a privilege. To be able to honor and remember our veterans and spend time with their descendants is indescribable. To try and empathize with our Gold Star families and understand the sacrifice their families made is such an honor. We have come to acknowledge our fellow Scions as family, and I think it is what our veterans would have wanted. The band of brothers lives on within the Scions. Thank you all for being here today to honor that band of brothers. Sorry about the crying. That was hard.
Well, nicely done, kiddo.
Thanks. That was a hard